Hi everyone and welcome to Creative Cakes by Sharon. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this gorgeous pair of ballerina slippers which can be used as a stunning cake topper for any little ballerina's cake. So I have here the ballerina slipper template and you can get a copy of this in the description box below. I've got my fondant roller, I've got some pink fondant, some edible glue, my palette knife, a paintbrush, my x-acto blade. I've got a few sewing pins here and a couple of pieces of styrofoam. I've got 2 pieces of tissue as well as a Ziploc bag full of some little styrofoam pieces. Alternatively, you could use a bag of cotton wool. I'll also be using 4 lengths of wire and a fondant extruder. The first thing I need to do is separate my fondant into 2 equal portions and pop one aside so we can work on one slipper at a time. So I'm going to start creating the left slipper and I need to roll my fondant to about 2 to 3 millimeters thick, just large enough so that I can fit both pieces of my template onto the fondant. Now I'm going to carefully cut all the way around both pieces of the template, reserving the excess for the ribbons and the trimming I need to create a little bit later on. Using a little bit of the edible glue around the sole of the slipper, I'm going to adhere the top part of the ballerina slipper to the sole, making sure that the edges meet up nicely and attaching the join at the back of the slipper nice and evenly. At this point the fondant is very soft, so I'm just going to roll up my little piece of facial tissue into a small ball so that I can poke it into the front of the ballet slipper to form the front of the toe. You just want to be very gentle as you put the tissue in because you don't want any sharp edges that you've folded to poke through the fondant, so just take a little bit of care and time to smooth out any bumps. To achieve a nice ballet slipper shape, I need to carefully use my palette knife to scrape under the shoe and pick it up very gently and then pop it onto my little bag of styrofoam pieces. This is going to help the shoe dry in the correct shape. A little bit of manoeuvring is required to achieve the right shape that you're after. I've rested my ballet slipper on my bag of styrofoam bits and I've also propped it up with the 2 blocks of styrofoam that I had to get a little bit more elevation and height to my slippers. So while the left-hand slipper is starting to dry, I'm going to create the right-hand slipper following exactly the same process. So once I've created both of my slippers, I'm going to leave them resting on the bag for a full 24 hours to start to harden up. So here are my ballerina slippers after 24 hours. You can see that the top part has already started to firm up nicely. However, the bottom side is still fairly soft as it's been resting on the plastic bag. Overall though, the slippers have formed a nice shape. Now in order to use these slippers in a vertical position, I need to insert 2 wires into each slipper at the tip of the toes. And because the sole is still soft, it's not too difficult to do. Just be careful while inserting the wires and use your fingers to guide them inside the fondant so they don't poke through. Now to create the trim around the ballerina slipper and the little bow at the front, I'm going to use the fondant extruder to create a nice long tube and adhere it all the way around the edge of the slipper and create the bows. My ballerina slippers have been drying for about 2 days and they're all but complete except for the little satin ribbons which I have to add. It's best to attach the fondant ribbons once the slippers have been inserted into the cake, and it's just a matter of simply rolling out some long strips of the fondant and attaching them from the back of the ballerina slipper, letting them drape and twirl towards the bottom of your cake. So here they are, propped up on top of a 3-tier cake. I'm sure you'll agree they look absolutely gorgeous. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make these pretty little ballerina slippers. If you did, don't forget to let me know by giving it a like. Also, just a reminder to click the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to my channel so that you're always kept up to date with my creative cakes and recipes. Don't forget to drop me a line in the comment section below. I love to hear from you guys. You can also connect with me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram and Twitter. I hope you tune in next time, and as always, thanks for watching.